Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed your little break from our chatter.
William here has an announcement.
Yeah, this is our 200th program. So how about that? We may not get A for excellence, but we get A for our staying power.
That's
at
right.
least.
We were too dumb to go away.
And that was with a couple of years out for the pandemic.
That's right, because there was a break there. And I took a break because Monica got lymphoma, and it was a lot of hospital visits and stuff.
Yeah. But it's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hardly seems like it's been that long, though. I don't know the date we started this.
Time flies.
We are by no means professionals now, but think how bad it was those first few issues. I remember I would drop my microphone, I'm trying to catch this thing, I'm crawling on the floor, we don't know where our papers are.
We still don't.
We still don't, but we have more fun. We don't care now.
That's it. Oh, shoot. Well, all right then. I was to remind you about the pricing of oil.
And oil, I mean,
up out of the ground.
Terrible thing called fossil fuel. But oil, or the oil business. We see today, Biden goes to Saudi Arabia with his hat in his hand, won't you please pump more oil? We're taking oil out of our oil reserves. We're doing this, we're doing that. There's a pipeline, there's no pipeline, et cetera. And nobody knows anything about anything. So I did some research from different sources and some interviews of people that are involved in the business, in the industry, not the business. And I found some very interesting things. First of all, there's really no oil shortage in this country. We're awash in crude oil. But the thing that I didn't know is that we're not short of oil. We're short of refining capacity.
That's exactly right. The other shortage is pipelines. They're constricted also.
Well, we don't need pipelines right now. We will at some point.
Yeah.
But we can't process the oil we got, because I saw we were exporting 3 million barrels of oil a day, shipping it out of the country. I thought, wait a minute. We're over to Saudi Arabia, hat in the hand, saying, please put more oil into the system. And we're exporting 3 million barrels of oil.
To China.
To China. Most of the Alaskan oil is going right offshore. I said, now that doesn't make any sense. So I found out that oil is oil is oil is oil. Not all oils are oils as we think of them. There's about 8 or 10 basic oil, real changer oil, and there's about 12 or 14 more other kinds of oil. And they're not interchangeable when you process them.
That's right.
We can't process the Dakota shale oil and sand oil that we're getting. We don't have the capacity to process.
That's right.
That has to be put in barrels and shipped overseas. We can't process the Alaskan oil. We're set up, our refineries are set up to refine Texas, Oklahoma, Gulf, and Canadian oils, basically, and a couple of North Sea oils. Other than that, we can't deal with them. Now, here's where the big problem comes in. You say, well, why don't we build new refineries? The oil companies are not crazy. They say, what's this business going to look like in 10 or 20 years? What do we always hear? Abolish or get rid of fossil fuels. What's happening to the automobile? All going electric. Where are we? Why should we invest billions and billions of dollars to change or add to our refining capacity when nothing? Looks like the market's just going to go down and down and down and down. He said, we're not changing.
Are you prepared, Mr. Government, to give us tax breaks to pay for these refineries?
They're just not going to do it.
No, the government's not going to do it.
Well, we don't care.
So
The
the
oil people aren't going to do it either.
corporations can't do it.
They said it's working the way it is. It's yes, it's expensive what we're doing, but we can't. We have no choice. So every time you start saying, divest yourself of fossil fuels this, fossil fuels that, you're just making the problem worse. Because it's not a matter of, it's not a matter of, well, we were importing almost 5 million barrels of oil a day also. We're sending out 3, bringing 5 in. But it's not a matter of, I send it out, I bring it back. It doesn't go you to me. It goes me to him, to him, to him, to him. It's a big trade all the way around. Everybody trades to everybody because he can't do his and he can't do his and I can't do yours and you can't do mine. So by you sending yours there and you sending yours there, here, it makes a big circle.
Yep. The high sulfur stuff goes over there, the heavy goes over there, the light goes over there.
They got the refineries for this one, they got the refineries for this one. So at the end, it doesn't matter if Saudi Arabia pumps more oil or not.
A million barrels a day doesn't
going to make a bit of difference. Because everything goes into the international pool, and it doesn't matter if Biden pulls out 3 million barrels a day out of our reserve or not. It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect anything. It's just not going to matter. But this fact that we couldn't refine it, that surprised me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because I thought, we got that shale oil and the sands oil, or they got something they call sand.
Yeah. We up in Alberta, Canada.
We base our pricing on something called sweet Texas bent crude.
Yeah.
That was one of the original oils, and that's where we said this is the oil.
The other one is Brent from the North Sea.
That's a Brent crude also.
And that does not require as much refining as the Texas.
And but we're set up to refine those kind of oils.
Yeah. And those refineries, by the way, are not getting any better.
No, they're old.
Older and older.
They're getting older.
And older. But you know what? And here's the dirty truth. And they all know it. But 30 or 40 years from now, we'll still be using fossil fuel.
We have to.
Yeah. No choice.
Maybe not so much for the fuel. When we say fossil fuel, the fuel is part of it. And that's going to go less and less and less. It's plastic. Fertilizers.
Yeah. Oh, there's
building materials.
Myriad of things.
It just goes on and on and on.
Yep.
That depend on some faction of that.
But the fuels are still going to be a big part of it.
They'll be there. Oh yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, I don't think the internal combustion engine is going to go away as quickly as everyone would like.
Not as quick as they say it is.
The electrics are not exactly setting the world on fire. And by the way, so we have cars for sale, Teslas. Mm-hmm. They get a cheap one, but they're good ones. Run, and I get all the numbers here, from the 70s to $120,000.
Oh yeah, that's a price point of the top of the line, those kind of things.
And yet, who is paying for those or help paying for those? You
are.
And me.
Yeah.
Because those bozos, the only people, first of all, the Teslas are not terribly good as far as the amount of miles they can drive on a charge. I mean, they get models that are in the 200 ranges and 300
Yeah, Consumer
ranges.
Reports puts them in the bottom of their list. We're pretty close to the bottom.
So, these cars are not practical for everyday drivers. People don't really like charging the batteries. By the way, there's another dirty little secret. Charging the batteries. Mm-hmm. Well, you can get a lightning charge in that'll charge your battery 80% in, say, an hour. Well, also that shortens the battery life.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So you take it from one hand and put it in the other. So what happens now is, so it's a second or a third car for families. Now, who can only afford that, to do that? The rich.
And who's getting the price break, or who's getting the tax break to buy the $80,000 to $100,000 car?
$500 tax break.
That's coming out from you and me.
Every one of those cars found, and it's you and me.
We can't afford
Chris.
it, but we're supplementing somebody else's. That's right. That's crazy. And how much are they paying for gas tax to help fix the roads?
Yeah, exactly.
Nada.
Zippo. But they're using the roads.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to saddle them with those charges, because we want them buying electrics so we can get rid of those icky gas-powered cars.
Yep.
I mean, this is all so stupid.
Oh yeah, that's.
And guess who ends up wearing the goat horns? You and me.
Yep. And you're just taking the pollution from out of the tailpipe and putting it in the manufacturing of the electrical manufacturing.
Absolutely. What do you think that it costs money to do to create electricity? Where's it come from? Fossil fuel.
I did screw up. I pulled out the thing on this month's electric bill. They got a chart in there of where Eversource's power has been coming from in the past year or two. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The biggest is natural gas. The second was small hydro. Third was something else. What they call renewable was like solar and wind, and not the hydro. I leave that out. Solar was, I think, 10% or 9%, and wind was 2% or 3%. And there's just no. Nuclear is down to 3.7 because of Plymouth being shut down. It used to be almost 40 from Plymouth.
Yeah. The biggest mistake we're making is shutting down the nuclear power plants. Absurd. But you know what? They told the lie often enough and long enough.
Yep.
We're finally getting to the point where we're paying for these nuclear power plants. They're paying for themselves now. The front end costs are gone, and we should have a stable source of power. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's shut it down. They're icky. By the way, heating oil prices. Last year, $2.89 a gallon.
Yep.
October of this year, $4.10. Today, $5.40.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a pretty hefty.
I dread to hear the beeps as he's backing in. I've still got 3/4 of a tank, but I just hope it's not going to last all winter. That's for sure.
Not unless you invent some magical way to become more economical.
Yeah, or turn Inuit and.
By the way, I was trying to remember a couple of the things that President Biden said recently, but he said yesterday Republicans are a threat to democracy.
There's a kernel of truth in that. There's a kernel of truth in everything that they say. It depends on which Republican are you referring to.
Well, Republicans.
No, you can't make a statement
that's
like
pretty
that.
wide brush that he's painting
That's a
with.
wide brush. Yeah.
On The View yesterday, the woman on The View, I don't know.
My TV won't even turn to that channel. I don't know how you get it.
Oh, it's.
Mine just flips it over right after that. I can't stand them people.
One of them, and I forget which one. I know which one it was, but I don't know her name. She said, what they were talking about is white suburban women
Yeah.
are going Republican. and she said that is a disgrace. White suburban women voting Republican is like roaches voting for Raid.
That sounds like Joyce Behu or whatever her name is. But
No, not Joyce.
that's the only one I know the name of.
She's black.
Oh, the one that
40-ish maybe with banana curls or whatever they call it.
Yeah, when she smiles, she's got like a I want to call it a donkey mouth, but
Great.
I don't know her name.
I've got 2 or 3 things here I just really like to blitz right into before we get to our next thing.
All right.
Oh, here's the other thing. Here it is.
What do you got?
Mega Republicans are pro-insurrectionists.
Some of them are.
That's President Biden.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's not
but
a blanket
he's talking
statement,
about
but
all of them, though.
no, you can't. That's impossible.
By the way, the looks as though South Texas is going to, for the first time in their history, vote representatives in that are Republican.
Okay.
The Spanish vote. They have a saying down there, a slogan for this election: family, faith, and freedom. Well said. And all of them are leading in the races. Explain this one to me. They're fond of saying this on radio. WBZ Radio, #1 station in the nation for breaking news. How does one qualify to become #1?
For breaking news. The big question is, what is breaking news?
So this is basically sort of a
If every time you flash up there it says breaking news, and it's about Henrietta going to the grocery store to buy a quart of milk, of course you're going to be #1 in breaking news.
so this is like a self kind of
course.
deal.
There's no.
This is you're killing me with this stuff. I thought that they were really
Yeah, right. that fluff that these TV stations use is incredible.
You mean like me telling everybody that we're the #1 talk show in Norfolk?
That's right.
Oh, that's right. But
That's right. But in that case, that's the truth.
that's the truth is right. Now, folks, I've been getting calls from people. I answer the phone for everything. But a young lady by the name of Jewel has called me
I rarely answer the phone
twice recently.
unless I know who it is.
Hello, is this William Crane? Yes. I am from Medicare New Card Services.
Oh, I've gotten a couple of those. I said, no, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not.
I said, so you work for Medicare? Yes, for Medicare New Card Services. Do you have your new card yet?
You're supposed
So
to say
now
no. I didn't get a new card.
say, yes, I do.
Yep, because you're supposed to say no. I
What
don't have it yet.
color is it? I said, I have a green one with arrows on it. Oh, that's not the current one. We have the new one for you. I said, that's enough, Jewel. You belong in prison. Goodbye.
Just give me your social security number. We'll make sure you get a new one.
Exactly
Sure.
right. So, folks, when Jewel calls you and wants to know if you've got your new card, tell her to stuff it.
It's the same boiler room doing these calls.
Oh, yeah.
They got an accent that's about that thick.
Philippines. She
I
told
don't
me
know. Is
once
that what
she was from Philippines.
Well, she said, this is a Social Security or a Medicare call. I said, no, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. I said, you might as well admit right now, I know it's not. You're not Medicare. Oh, yes, we are. Da, 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 da. Will you just give me your Social Security number or whatever she wanted? No. So she finally she hung up on me. They hung up on me, and within 10 seconds, I got
right
another
back.
call. It says Medicare on the call back. I said, you sneaky little You think I'm going to fall for that just because now you changed the phone ID to Medicare instead of somebody from local? It was 384 before my exchange. I just, I was born at night, but not last night. So
Medicare will never call you.
they don't call you for that. No.
Never. Neither
Never.
will Social Security.
Nope.
So if
IRS
Medicare
does
or
not
Social
call you.
Security calls you, folks, hang up.
And the IRS will not call you to tell you
That's
that
right.
you're going to be arrested.
They just come and arrest you.
They just come and arrest you. That's right.
This is just an interesting little note. Fender musical instrument sales last year did $1 billion in guitars.
Yeah, I got one. I got a Fender.
That's
Weird.
up from 430 million in 2015. The high-end guitars are selling like hotcakes, they said. We are completely sold out for every guitar made in the U.S. for this year and next year.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes not to bands,
No,
guys at home that
Yeah.
want to learn how to strum the
I
guitar.
had 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, and they buy the most expensive one they can buy. What do these people do? Rob banks or something?
Well, you got to remember, Fender made their money or their name in the electric, solid body electrics, years ago. They got some now that, oh my God, they're worth tens of thousands of dollars if you got one. Over the years, they got into different parts of it, and they've got a line, a consumer line. Now I think I paid $99 for mine, not $1,200. But they're good. They're not a Gibson by any means, or Les Paul, that group.
Yeah.
But they're good, and that's where they start. I think they made a lot of money, and particularly with the pandemic and people were at home and
Oh,
stuff,
yep, exactly.
and people
Yeah.
were buying them. And Fender was a name they knew,
Yeah.
and Fender knew that.
And they had inventory.
They had
And
inventory.
they were able to ship. But they're bare bones now.
yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. You got to wait 2 years for.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He made
They're all
some.
sold out this year and next.
I got. Anybody want to make a bid? I got a nice acoustic Fender.
2 Wawas close to downtown in Philadelphia, one of them 2 blocks from City Hall, have both closed their doors and shut down because of crime.
Oh yeah, that's.
Now, for you folks that don't know anything about Wawa, W-A-W-A, it's a 7-Eleven
7-Eleven.
or a Cumberland
Yeah,
Farms
exactly.
that's existed down in Philadelphia for a skillion years. But what's kind of interesting is the rest of the story is they included the crime rates in Philadelphia year to date versus the previous year. Retail theft up 54%.
Yep.
Armed robbery up 52%. Commercial burglary 48% increase. Now, does it sound to you like Philadelphia has a problem?
Of course they do.
Of course, I think there's a lot of other parts of the country that have the same problem.
You remember how long it took for Walmart to show up around here?
Oh, yeah.
You can lay that on, what was his name, the mayor of Boston there,
Tom Menino.
Menino.
He stonewalled them
He hated him.
because they weren't union.
Yeah, and they wouldn't play his game of supporting this and supporting that. But there was a time when Walmart would not go into areas like what do they call it? There's a shopping center right when you come out of downtown Boston.
Yeah, right there on the
Right-hand side there.
south.
Yeah, Plaza, South Plaza, something like that.
It's adjunct to South Boston, Dorchester. down
Exactly.
there, yeah.
It's on the Dorchester border. He wanted Walmart to come in there. because they were underserved. They said, no. Well, it's crazy. It's suicide to go in there because the theft rate's going to be so high, we're going to go broke. So that irritated him too. And then I guess Target cooperated with him. And he made damn sure that he did whatever he could to keep Walmart out everywhere then.
Well, and that and the fact that they were non-union.
Yeah,
that
non-union.
went up his tailpipe too. Also, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that's another one.
He stonewalled Chick-fil-A. There'll
Yeah.
never be a Chick-fil-A here as long as I'm mayor and all that. Again, same thing.
Yeah.
Contribute to my re-election campaign? No? Oh, well, sorry about that, but you're not going to build.
I think people are going to, well, they're finding out now that he was not the jolly uncle that everybody thought he was.
No.
He was
No,
he had his own.
you bet. They all do. And that's the only way they can survive in there. You know, I got to take care of this guy, I got to take care of that guy, this guy, that guy. That way, no one runs against me.
Do you ever watch, you must have seen the ads for Frugal Fanny? The woman that owns it. Her name is Doxy.
Oh, yes.
And she
yes.
sits there and she's just the cutest little thing, and she's just like, stop in and see our new party dresses. They are just adorable. And she just looks like a little party girl. And I said to Monica, I'll bet she's one tough cookie when it comes to doing business.
And I'll bet you she's packing a 38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, that helpless, I'm just a helpless little female.
Yeah.
I said, I'll bet you got to do business with her. That's one, you come out of there sweating bullets.
We had a customer down in Philadelphia, and the head buyer was a woman, and customer service did not. They dodged her like she was the plague. Nobody would take her calls. I mean, she'd go right for the throat.
Right for the throat, yeah.
I got her one day because it was a valve problem, and you must think you're the only people in the world that make these things, and went downhill from there.
I used to have to take the stuff from different companies to Building 19? Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot what his name was. But anyway, he was always on TV. He was always this jolly old guy. Come on in to our stores. You know, they're a mess, but you'll say, like, ha, 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 ha. He was one tough cookie, boy.
To survive in that kind of business,
Yeah, you
and
have to be.
To thrive,
Yeah.
you can't be a sissy.
You
or
would
a
walk
milk
in.
toast.
You walk in there and you say, "Well, I'll give you. I want 25 cents on the dollar," and he'd kick you right out of the door. He says,
Yep.
"I've never paid more than 10 cents on the dollar."
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, one more thing on Philadelphia. In the since January 2021, there have been 1,000 murders in Philadelphia.
Oh, tough. Philadelphia, a tough town.
The 3 years prior to 2021, there was a total of 535 murders. And come to downtown Philadelphia and shop.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, great. That's a great idea. The lady from The View that was upset with white suburban women,
Yeah.
in August, the Democrats led in the polls, white suburban women. The Democrats are ahead by 12%, generic Democrats. In November, the Republicans now lead by 15%. And that was a major story, and that's what she was addressing. By the way, what city in the U.S. has the highest inflation rate? Just city.
Inflation.
Yeah.
That's a hard question. Boy, that's tough. What's the inflation? I don't know. L.A.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona.
At 13%. Boy, it makes you really want to head out west, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Whoosh. Okay.
They become a bunch of Looney Tunes in Arizona, too.
The Model S,
Tesla.
Tesla. Plaid trim lists for $131,400, and the Model X Plaid lists for $138,990, and the top mileage on that is 396 miles per charge. But the smaller ones, like the Model 3, 272 miles.
You know what else about all that? Electric vehicles and electrification? Guess who controls the raw materials for making those batteries?
Is it a 5-letter word that begins with C and ends with A?
Yes, it is.
Ah, China. Yeah. Yeah. Which comes to my next slip.
Okay.
Fentanyl coming into this country.
Yep.
Manufactured in China.
Yep.
Brought to Mexico by different fashions.
Yep.
And smuggled into this country in our non-existent border, south border.
It's very easy to smuggle.
Yeah, really. I mean, they put it in pill form, and they say it's M&Ms or something.
And it's compact. It's, well, of course, very deadly, very expensive, and very profitable. And it can be put in trucks and cars and stuff, and hundreds of thousands of vehicles cross that border every day. It's not so much carried over by the illegals sneaking across the border. It's put in a pound here in the
tractor trailer
hidden
inside a piano or something.
And they can't. You don't get all. They can't even look at all of them.
Hell no, they don't get in the backs of all of them.
No.
What do you got in there? Oh, chickens. Oh, all right, chickens. Go ahead. I mean, they're not gonna. It's impossible.
There's a weekly program on Discover. I don't know if you ever watch Discovery.
No.
It's about smugglers.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's on the Mexican border. And it's really interesting. They do run the semis through a big giant X-ray, looks like. They just slowly, they drive by. And if they see something that looks little different, then they pull them over. But for most of them, 100 or 200 will go through and they won't see anything.
Yeah, what they also do is they'll stop every 7th one. So it kind of keeps the bad guys on their toes a little bit.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But the stuff that they do, my God, gas cans. I thought that was, but that's minor now. They used to take be an inch on the bottom of the gas can, or fuel tanks, and then the stuff would be in there. That's minor what they're doing now. They're putting the compounds into the rubber hoses, and then when they take the rubber hose off and they chemically take it back out of the hoses, you can't. There's no way you're going to stop it.
So my point, Dwayne, to you, my question is, do you think the Chinese government is complicit in this fentanyl to the U.S.
Oh, absolutely.
trade? Do you think that this is a plot to destabilize us?
Yeah, I think everything that China does is a plot to destabilize.
And so don't I. But you know what? People say to me, "Oh, you just have to have a conspiracy spin on every bloody thing that happens." But that's a closed society over there in China. You don't wing it and do work independently.
Absolutely
so
not.
Damn right well the Chinese government is on top of this and is in favor of it. And why? Why would they do it? Well, there is the money angle, but there is also, if we kill off a bunch of Americans and cause them all kinds of problems, and how the hell are they going to control that?
The more they cause us and other countries to allocate resources to fight that, the less resources we've got that would be a threat to China.
Exactly.
In China, I don't think they're making any bones about it anymore at all. They want to be the major power in the world.
Number one. Yep. That's what they want to be.
And they're letting you know that this is what we're going to do. And Adolf Putin better be careful there, because they're going to eat his lunch.
Yeah.
He's going down while they're going up, and they're going to meet in some place, and that's just going. He's going to be gone.
Yeah, I get a tough time trying to figure out how this is going to happen to him. As I'll be willing to bet you he doesn't have too many staff meetings any longer, because it's going to have to be someone that's close to him,
Oh, you mean a threat to his existence?
to his life, to
Yeah.
assassinate him.
Yeah, you're right. In fact, he's very remote. I understand. I mean, you can't. If you're in a room, you got to be way, way away from him. He doesn't get close to anybody anymore. But he's taken a page right out of Hitler's book. That's why I call him Adolf. I call him Adolf Putin. And I think he can't stand Nazism, nationalism. And I think the world media ought to start calling him Adolf Putin. But he's doing exactly what Hitler did, right from the get-go.
Yep.
From the invasion, how he hands it, the attack on the civilian targets. If you fight back as a civilian, he punishes a civilian target.
Yeah.
You know, if you attack his group, he bombs your apartment buildings or your electrical supply.
It also is absorbing the border countries, the
Exactly.
little ones, one bite at a
One
time.
bite at a time. That's right.
Just exactly like Hitler did.
Hitler did the same thing.
He obviously has the Hitler playbook,
Yep.
and he understands if no one is going to go to war with me if I move into one of these small
That's right.
former Soviet countries. and take over.
What the hell? Just
Yeah,
a
who
little,
cares?
little backwater.
Remember the famous quote about Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
That little country so far away we know so little about.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're not going to go to war.
No, they're not.
But he is dumb like a fox.
Oh, yeah.
He's cunning. And if he is eliminated, there's only one other way I could conceive of this happening. And that is if he does have a meeting, some sort of a rocket or a bomb is exploded
But
and wipes out everybody.
Yeah, I got to believe that's pretty well protected against something like that happening.
I'm sure he's got
got
a Fuhrer bunker
Yeah.
that he lives in.
He's not a man to take chances.
No. Now, this the health story again.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. There's a story, but you don't know anymore.
You do.
The stories are going around. Just like you don't know on the military operations that's going in
Right.
Ukraine. Is it as bad as it is, or is it as good as it is, from whichever perspective you're looking at? Now, this past week again, they said that they suspect that North Korea is shipping him artillery shells. North Korea, for cripe's sakes. He had to buy drones from Iran.
Iran, yeah.
Iran, yeah. I mean, that's kind of nuts. It kind of shows desperation.
By the way, what do you make about the demonstrations going on in Iran? The young people are standing up and saying, "Oh, you can kill us," but there's millions others too that are standing up now saying, "Enough."
Iran, for some reason, has a huge population of people under 35.
Yeah.
The young group that they don't even know who Ayatollah Khamenei was, nor do they care.
Right. And this business about the hair pieces, having to hide our hair, is absolute nonsense. And they are openly defying
it. Yeah.
Well, I think that the couple of times when they have arrested people, or actually that girl that was beaten to death, they got so much blowback from that.
Yeah.
They may be smart enough to know that if we continue to try to suppress the people, we are lighting the fuse that could blow the whole thing up.
They'll back off just enough to calm them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to be very careful. And you know, when you stop and think about it, how about if we had 11 priests and ministers and rabbis running our country. Every single facet of our country was run by them.
Oh my God.
But that's the situation.
That's what they got.
in
Yeah,
Iran.
they have a theocracy.
Yeah. I mean, you've got Khomeini, and then the underlings.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's one chief among the underlings.
Yeah.
But they pass judgment on everything.
Israel fights that every day.
Yeah.
You got the ultra-Orthodox that want to take over the country and set the standards for the country, and the rest of the secular or the reform people, they say no.
Yeah.
We want to be able to drive on Sunday or whatever, turn electric light on. You do what you want to do, we'll do what we want to do.
Exactly. You know, I get one more story.
Okay.
I was going to start to rant, but I get one more story, and then I think we need to tackle abortion.
Are you looking to have one or what?
We need to perhaps discuss it. But you're unfolding something there.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember where I put it, as usual. But did you know as of, I believe, yesterday or day before, you can't get rid of a mattress or shoes
Yes.
or shirt?
I know
or
that.
A blanket?
I heard that.
It comes out in the paper the day it goes in effect. And in typical Massachusetts, I watched last night in the news, they were telling about the ban on getting rid of this stuff. They said, well, you just take it to a recycle center.
Yeah.
So the person that was doing the report asked, where are the recycle centers? Well, there's a couple in Boston, and there's some here, and there's some there. And they didn't know. There's nothing set up for this. And then so they said, well, the only way you can get rid of these things if they're stained or torn or worthless. And then you can. And so the guy said, well, he says, if I've got a blanket that I can't get rid of unless it's stained, he says, why don't I just dump a cup of coffee or something on it? Well, there's nothing to stopping you, but that's violating the letter of the law, or the spirit of the law. And I thought, you stupid crap. 15. Are you stupid people? You make these laws or these new things, they're not thought out.
How about when they pass something and they say, well, here's the website to go to register, and the website crashes.
It don't work.
Oh, gee, we didn't expect everybody to call at
Shoes
once.
and clothes and stuff. Take them to the people at the Salvation Army or Goodwill. Do you know how overrun they're going to be with stuff? They can't handle what they're getting in now.
Yeah, and not only that, but I mean, of course, that's fairly easy because they get those containers up to the recycle center, stuff crap in it, and I'm sure people throw some mighty interesting things in there too to get rid of them.
Yeah.
But hey, I got one story here that I've been saving.
All right.
And I've been trying to figure a way to fit it in.
We don't need a segue. Just go ahead.
I'm afraid that people have lost the ability to talk to one another, and sales is going to become a very interesting proposition because that is person to person, face to face.
Yep.
Me telling you about a product and what it's all about and all that. And I always felt that every step that I took, the extra mile, would pay off for me. I went to a refinery in Philadelphia, the last one up here in Philadelphia, and they wanted to replace a valve actuator, the thing that makes the valve turn. Well, so my salesman said, would you come and tell them what they need and all that? And the only reason I ask that, Bill, is this is part of modernization. And if we can get our actuator in there, we will find ourselves actuating a whole bunch more of these because they got these 14-inch valves every place in this place. I said, sure, yeah, of course, happy to. So I drove down. I went in, and the guy says to me, I don't know what the hell the big deal is, but it's in underneath this pipe. You can't see it from here. But I can tell you, it's a 14-inch Jamesbury high-performance butterfly valve. So that's all you need to know.
Did he want you to go in there?
So I said to our salesman, I'm not going to do this, okay? I got to go in there and look at that thing. So there was a pipe, coming down a little bit lower than the table. I had to slide on my back. They got me a piece of cardboard.
Oh, well.
On my back, in underneath, 9, 10 feet. Then I had to look up at this valve. You know, if you were claustrophobic, it was the last thing you ever wanted to do in this huge facility, noisy. Well, anyway, so I cleaned off the data plate. It wasn't a Jamesbury valve at all. It was a Norris seal.
Was that one of your competitors?
A different valve manufacturer. Totally different construction. Mounting plates, totally different. Shafts, totally different. So I said, okay, I said, I'm going to come out. Can one of you reach in here and pull me out feet first?
No.
Yeah, okay. I come out. Well, I was a mess.
Oh, I bet.
So I said, I got all the information. So we left the area. We were with a process engineer that was in charge of that particular unit. And the maintenance guy that told me what it was and all that, he went off. So I said, it wasn't a Jamesbury valve. It was a Norris seal. I said, if I had listened to that guy, and if you'd listened to that guy, I would have produced something that when you took that pipe out, shut the unit down, and took that section of pipe out, it wouldn't have fit. And you guys would be madder than wet hens, and I'd never be able to come in this place again. I said, but I know what that thing is, and I can make the mounting parts for it. And I can give you an actuator that'll make it work. Well, guess what? He gave us the order. Well, it's like $5,000. I mean, it was a big actuator. But let me tell you, I could walk into that plant anytime I wanted, and they'd see me after that. Going the extra mile. You know, when you're in sales, any of you young people that are watching, thinking about a career in sales, go the extra mile. It will never bite you in the butt, let me tell you.
Always be nice to the little people around there, too.
Boy, I made sure I did not say that in front of the maintenance guy.
Yep.
That wasn't, because I could have bagged him and made him look foolish, and that would have been slashing my own throat.
I was telling the first person you got the director of buy purchasing or the tool crib manager, and the next person that you want to really be friends with is his secretary. Because she gets you in or doesn't get you in to see him. You might have to wait a week. If you're a friend, come on in, I'll get you in right away. I said it's $3 for a cheap thing of flowers once in a while, or a little
Box
candy once in a while. So there you go. That
Let me tell you.
goes a long ways.
When I was calling on this one place in New Jersey, I used to do it with my friend John Anthony. He could sell ice cubes to Eskimos. And John and I would go to McDonald's, and get 18 Big Macs or whatever the quarter pounders with cheese or whatever to go. Bring them into the maintenance department. And the maintenance department took a break from 9:45 to 10 o'clock. We were sitting there with those Big Macs. Well, I'll tell you what, we could get in to see those guys any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, it was so easy. It was so
When the meal was over, this is the kind of operation John had going. John, there was a clipboard on the wall. Guess what it said? John Anthony. And if you had any questions about industrial instrumentation or about the equipment in there or valves or whatever, you wrote on your name, Bob Smith. I got a valve problem. Bob Smith, a 43A, I need one. Blah, blah, blah. John would go in, get the slip, start walking around looking for guys, and they'd say, yeah, this is what I need, John. Well, how do I buy this from you? And John would say, okay, here's the model numbers and all that. Okay, I'll take this out to purchasing. You'll get an order next week. We used to walk on water down there, but you gotta, it doesn't come just like that. You've got to establish yourself as a guy that can give you the answers and get you the products and make them right. Not an easy job, sales. You know that.
No, of course not.
And you know that every single person is different.
Do you know what today? The young people coming out are not one-on-one people anymore. They don't react. They don't interact with people. Everything is done on that little phone in their fingers.
Yeah. And you know, I get so frustrated because I call a company and you get digital.
Oh God, I hate that.
Answer your problem. Is it because you got the wrong material? Is it because it's too big, too small, the wrong color, blah, 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 blah. Just give me somebody to talk to.
Oh, that's right.
God almighty. But you know what? I plead with people, and sometimes it rewards me. Like one company that I talk to all the time is the people that I get my prescriptions from. And if you don't want to listen to the whole spiel, Bill, hit 4 and one of us will pick up. If you don't know that, you got to listen to 3 minutes of crap.
Yep.
But
try calling Verizon today.
Oh, I bought their stock the other day.
They got a million options.
Yep.
Not any ones that you want.
Yeah.
And then if you say no, then you got to go through the whole thing again.
Thing all over again. Yeah.
You know what I did? I ended up calling one of the Verizon stores. I said, how do I get a hold of Verizon? He says, here's 3 numbers. Just punch these 3 numbers in. It's a code. It'll go right straight through. This is what the stores use. I said, thank you very much. I wrote it in the back of my phone.
Yep. You know what? You ask for the back door number.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. And if you get a good person, they'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Verizon, I got the word. My phone is on its last days.
Really?
My flip phone 2G service, December 31st. That's it. There are no carriers left that's going to service that.
You're going to have to use the high-powered model.
I'm going to have to get a new phone and a new service.
The agony of it all.
I'm not looking forward to it.
You know, the old folks magazines have got the jitterbug in there.
That's right. But they must be a 3. Oh, even 3G, they told me. 2G and 3G are both gone. December, it's going to be 4 and 5G.
Wow.
And my daughter-in-law gave me a phone. Apple that she had at one time, they trade up. So I said, I don't even know how to anybody. She says, don't worry. She says, take it out of Verizon, tell them what you want, and they'll have them put it in. They'll tell them, how do I use this, and they'll let them show you.
Or talk to a 14-year-old.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Or my, I guess he's 12 now, grandchild.
Oh, phooey. Well, you know what? We're running out of time.
Well, we still got, I don't know, what do we got left?
Oh, under 5.
Under 5?
Yeah. 2.
Oh, yeah, 2 we got to.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Here's a cute little thing to go out with.
Yeah.
Woman accused of freeing swarm of bees on sheriff deputies. I had a salesman at Stanley, Dick Butts. He has passed away. He was the nicest guy you ever want to meet. He looked like Dick Butkus. They could have been twins. Great big guy, but gentle, nice, kind, and he was into everything. He had hobbies, and when he went in feet first and all the way. And he's going to be a beekeeper. So, of course, he did all that. And he registered with all the beekeeper people. Well, one day the town of Northborough called him because he's in the registry as a beekeeper. They got these big swarm of wild bees down on the common. Could he help them? He says, yeah. He says, because bees are expensive. I didn't know that. So he got all his equipment, his cage or his hives and everything. He goes down there and he says, I found the queen. I got her in there, and there's tens of thousands of bees coming into these hives. I took them home. I said, boy, I got about $3,000 worth of bees here. He says, I took the queen out, put her in one of the hives, and opened the thing. They attacked. What he didn't know, he says, these are wild bees, and you can't just take a wild bee and think they're going to. He said, I was supposed to keep them in the hive for 2 to 3 weeks before I opened that up once they're captured to let them calm down. But he said, I opened it up. I got 35 stings myself. The neighbors got stung. The kids that were out in the yard got stung. People in the next block got stung. He said, everybody hated me.
He wasn't voted neighbor of the year or anything?
No. But no matter what it was, he always went in. So, something would happen, Racing pigeons, the same thing.
The other night I was walking up to St. Jude's parking lot, doing my 1 hour walk. It's getting a little nippy at night though, so I'll be going to the gym for the next 6 months. But right now I'm still walking at night. I saw this bug walking on the tarmac, and wow, what a crazy looking bug. I got a leaf and I put it in front of him, and he didn't do anything, and I kept on doing that until he finally crawled on it so I could pick him up and take a good look at him. Wow. Put him back down. I said, okay, go away. I had killed him.
By picking him up? Shame on you. All right, 1 bill.
Oh, so that was it. That was a bad deed. But I did find out what kind of bug it was anyway. I looked it up in my insect book.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Some purple something beetle. I never seen anything quite like it. Strange color. Big guy, too. Dead guy, too. Anyway. Well, listen, we're down to a minute. You got any last thoughts?
No, I think we're pretty much covered a lot of ground today.
The Ukrainian war.
Yeah, we could go on to that for a long time.
Yeah, that's mysterious as hell. I don't really feel I understand what's going on over there now. I think that they're shutting down a lot of the news.
Yeah, probably rightly so.
But, well, we'll just have to deal with some of this stuff next time.
Okay. Anybody got any ideas for what you want us to talk about or do? Let us know.
That's it. Call the station here and leave a message.
Yep.
Yeah, or I'm in the phone book. Dwayne's in the phone book. Give us a holler. And we still got page after page of things to talk about. Wow.
If you're trying to collect money, though, forget it. I don't answer those.
Yeah, we're not interested in that. Yeah. Well, listen, folks. Have a continuation. Have a nice fall. And we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Remember a vet on Veterans Day.
That's right. Absolutely.